90%. That's the Broncos' playoff chance with a single win against the Colts. But the road ahead isn't without challenges. Injuries are piling up, rivals are closing in, and the team faces the Indianapolis Colts in one of the most critical games at Mile High in years. With a playoff berth within reach for the first time in 8 seasons, this week is make-or-break territory. Can Sean Payton's Broncos rise to the occasion, or will setbacks derail their postseason dreams? Let's dive into the mix of good news and bad news, latest injury updates, key matchups, how Sean Payton used the bye week, and the lessons he applied from his coaching history. We're breaking it all down right here. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Let's start with the key injury which can hurt Denver badly in an upcoming game. Riley Moss, who has been a revelation in the Broncos' defensive backfield, was limited to stretching duties during practice. Watching him on the sideline wearing that knee sleeve isn't exactly what fans wanted to see heading into the biggest game of the season. Thais marks the second consecutive practice session where Moss has been restricted to minimal participation. The good news is Brandon Jones is back in action after that nasty groin injury he picked up during the last game against the Browns. For those who haven't been tracking Jones's impact since we signed him from Miami, this man has been nothing short of phenomenal filling in for Justin Simmons. His instincts for creating turnovers, recovering fumbles, and securing interceptions have made him an invaluable asset to our defense. Now, let's talk about how Vance Joseph is likely to adjust our defensive strategy. With an entire week off to analyze film and strategize, Joseph has 3 primary options to fill the potential void left by Moss: Levi Wallace, Damari Mathis, or Kris Abrams-Draine. Based on recent developments and Sean Payton's comments, all signs point toward Kris Abrams-Draine getting significant playing time. Payton recently praised Abrams-Draine's development, specifically highlighting 2 crucial aspects. First, the young cornerback has been putting in serious work in the weight room, addressing the main concern about his smaller frame. Second, and perhaps more importantly, Payton emphasized Abrams-Draine's football intelligence, a critical factor when facing an unpredictable Colts offense. And speaking of Sean Payton, he's not shying away from the playoff conversation with this team. While some coaches might prefer to focus on the one game at a time mindset, Payton is taking a different approach. He's making sure the players understand what's at stake and using the postseason as motivation to keep pushing forward. It's a bold but calculated strategy from a coach who knows how to inspire confidence. In recent press conference, Payton mentioned how he uses the playoff push as motivation, telling players, "We're going to get in the playoffs, and it's going to happen." It's a bold, confident message that resonates with the team, and it's refreshing to hear that level of belief. Now, coming to the other site, the Indianapolis Colts injury situation is where things get really interesting for the Broncos' playoff hopes. Their offensive line, which has been their backbone all season, is currently in shambles. Multiple linemen who were designated to return from injured reserve haven't necessarily been cleared for game action. Remember what happened with Drew Sanders? Same situation here. Being designated to return doesn't guarantee Sunday availability. Fortunately, the Colts quarterback situation plays in the Broncos' favor. Anthony Richardson, their starter, has struggled mightily with accuracy. On a good day, he barely scrapes past a 50% completion rate, which is rare. In fact, he's only managed to do that once this season, and it was against the Patriots, a team far from defensive dominance. This should give the defense a prime opportunity to capitalize and keep Richardson in check. Even with injuries affecting our secondary, I don't believe Richardson can beat Denver through the air. The most significant blow to the Colts' offensive line is the confirmed absence of their right tackle Braden Smith due to personal reasons. This creates a massive opportunity for the edge rushers, Jonathon Cooper and Nick Bonitto, to wreak havoc in the backfield. When you consider their defensive front's recent performance against the run, this matchup becomes even more favorable for Denver. The strength versus strength matchups could define this game. The Colts' Quenton Nelson, arguably one of the league's best guards, will face off against Zach Allen, who's been absolutely dominant in recent weeks. On the other side, DeForest Buckner will test Quinn Miners, who has emerged as one of the most reliable interior linemen in the National Football League. These individual battles could determine the game's outcome. Now, shifting to another bit of news, though it's not something to celebrate, it's worth mentioning the situation with the Chargers. As the Broncos compete with them for that all-important 5th playoff spot, their injury issues could potentially work in Broncos' favor. Not only is Ladd McConkey sidelined, but their starting running back is also out. On top of that, Justin Herbert missed practice this week after taking several brutal hits during their game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Herbert's durability has long been a topic of concern. He has a tendency to take unnecessary hits, and injuries have often sidelined him during critical stretches. Denver fans know this all too well. There have been multiple seasons where Denver didn't face Herbert twice because he was injured by the time of their second matchup. Sean Payton's approach to the bye week deserves special attention. He revealed an interesting evolution in his coaching philosophy, crediting Andy Reid for influencing his decision to give players the entire week off. This marks a significant departure from his earlier coaching days and showcases his willingness to adapt and evolve. Payton's embrace of modern technology and analytics represents another fascinating development. The traditional bye-week approach of extensive self-scouting has been revolutionized by artificial intelligence and advanced analytics platforms. Using Amazon Web Services, the coaching staff can instantly analyze formation success rates, identify tendencies, and optimize game planning without keeping players in the building. Looking at the matchup holistically, several factors suggest the Broncos are in a strong position despite the injury concerns. Their run defense hasn't allowed any team to establish a consistent ground game all season. Against a Colts offense that relies heavily on Jonathon Taylor, this strength becomes even more crucial. If they can force Taylor into obvious passing situations, their pass rush should be able to take over the game. Even without Moss, the defensive secondary has shown remarkable adaptability throughout the season. Patrick Surtain's ability to eliminate one side of the field allows their defensive coordinators to be more creative with coverage schemes and blitz packages. This flexibility becomes particularly valuable against a Colts receiving core that has struggled with consistency. The statistical analysis of the Broncos' red zone performance over the past 6 games reveals a dramatic improvement. They've increased touchdown conversion rate from 47% in the first half of the season to 68% during our recent winning streak. This improvement coincides with Courtland Sutton's growing comfort in Payton's offensive system and the emergence of reliable targets in critical situations. The weather forecast for Sunday suggests mild conditions at Mile High Stadium, which should allow both teams to execute their full offensive game plans. This plays into Denver's favor as defensive versatility and offensive balance give them multiple ways to attack the Colts' compromised defense. One underappreciated aspect of this matchup is the special teams battle. Their coverage units have been exceptional in recent weeks, consistently winning the field position battle. The Colts have struggled in this area, ranking near the bottom of the league in average starting field position. In a game where every yard could matter, this hidden advantage could prove decisive. The coaching staff's management of practice intensity this week shows they understand the magnitude of this game while ensuring players remain fresh. The combination of strategic rest periods and focused, high-intensity drills demonstrates Payton's experience in preparing teams for crucial late-season matchups. One critical factor we haven't discussed is the altitude advantage at Mile High Stadium. With the Colts' offensive line already compromised, the thin air could amplify their fatigue, especially in the fourth quarter. Conditioning staff has specifically designed recovery protocols that maximize this home field advantage, something Sean Payton brought with him from his experience preparing teams to play in Denver. Another key element is our 2-minute drill efficiency. Over the past 4 games, Bo Nix has led 6 scoring drives in 2-minute situations, converting 83% of these opportunities into points. This becomes particularly relevant against a Colts defense that has struggled late in halves, allowing points in the final 2 minutes of either half in 7 of their last 8 games.